Good day, movers and shakers, and welcome to the third episode of the Moving Mountains podcast. I am Kerece.
And I am Jordane, and we are your insightful and inspiring host who will be guiding you through what promises to be another fantastic episode.
So buckle up, we are going up.
Today we will be talking about joy, the second fruit listed in Galatians 5 verses 22 and 23.
The word joy appears over 100 times in the Old Testament with 15 different Hebrew words. For instance, there is simcha, which means joy, gladness, or mirth. It is derived from samak, which means to rejoice. Simcha appears 93 times in the Old Testament, with its first occurrence in Genesis 31:27. This reveals the importance of joy in the life of every believer.
Since joy is so important in our walk with God, we are moved to ask, how can each of us receive this joy? Well, Romans 15 verse 13 gives us insight. It says, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in Him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit."
So in other words, this joy that we seek can only be imparted to us from God. Isaiah 26 verse 3 also reminds us that as servants of God, our joy comes not from our circumstances, but from our source, God.
Well said, Kerece. The psalmist David reminds us to rejoice in the Lord always.
So when things are not going our way, when should we rejoice?
Always.
When life seems unfair, when do we rejoice?
Always.
And not just always, but always
In the Lord.
This joy is unexplainable, and it's not from this domain, and it's not subjected to it.
The impartation of this joy to us doesn't mean we won't ever experience sorrow, for we know according to Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 that there's a season for everything under the sun. At the end of the day, once the presence of the Lord is with us, we are always able to access this joy.
At times we have to seek this joy. It's a treasure in God, which is our right, but it requires that we seek it or hope for this joy. If we have this hope to be saturated by this joy, our actions must mirror.
If unhappiness and gloom no longer serves us, then we must seek after the source that grants joy.
The world will tell you to seek happiness, which often seems to come through getting the right job, the right amount of money, the right spouse, and the right friends. But these things are seasonal and oftentimes fleeting, and worldly happiness will leave with them. But God is constant, and if your joy is in the Lord, then even in seasons of unhappiness, that joy will remain.
As we achieve this joy, it's vital that it is maintained. As we remain in the presence of the Lord, our joy will be full.
Thank you for joining us in our third episode of Moving Mountains. We hope you have been blessed.
Follow us on Instagram at Moving Mountains JA and join us next week for another enlightening episode.
Until next time, keep moving upward and onward.